I'm here. I'm just gonna do some talking. This will fix home team game dev. It's good to see you. This will fix everything. It's gonna be self-preservation and democracy preservation meeting. I'm gonna get rid of this silly little thing that I made yesterday because it's beautiful. However, I'm not I'm not feeling it. Goodbye, collection. Uh, yeah. So I don't know. I just figured I'd do something to keep my mind off of things. I've got a meeting with leadership later today where I'm going to talk about age ratings and what we've done this year, where we're planning on going. And I was all energized for it yesterday. And truth be told, I'm less energized for it and for everything today. I don't know if I'll read any manuals today. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. Whoa, we got folks. Hello, 4-Bit Friday. Sagak Lasali, Home Team Game Dev. Oh my gosh, it's good to see folks. Band Game Mod Maker here. That's right. We are underground. We are the underground, and nobody can stop us. So, heck of a day, huh? Look, I'm gonna be divisive, I suppose. And I will say that I think there are some bad people in this country. A number of them are going to be in charge unless something miraculous happens. And a significant portion of the country is okay with that. And I don't know how to square it. Apologies to anybody joining. I'm feeling not so good about it. So I am just as a fair warning. I'm feeling a little bit down about the outcome, and I will try to bring some levity, I suppose. Beatatron is here. It is good to see folks. I wasn't even going to do this today, but it is good to see. It is good to see folks. This morning, my kids were interested because my daughter Coraline, who's older, love you too, Beatatron. It's great to see you. It really is. This stuff. On a good week, this is my favorite part of the week. Just hanging out and doing this, and it's a lot of fun. And on a bad week, like this one, I think it's very meaningful that anybody showed up at all. So, yeah, and Sagak Sale, I know, I'm sorry. Having bad folks in government is by no means something that we have a monopoly on, I suppose. But nobody deserves it. Nobody deserves. Nobody deserves bad people in charge of their lives, in their kids' lives, in their families' lives. My daughters are 8 and 6, Coraline and Noelle, and they were both very interested in the election. Noelle, she's still kind of a baby at 6, so for her it's more sort of just like, oh, there's something happening, and it's no secret. Whatever my problems are with the Democrats, and from the left, just for clarity, my issues with the Democrats come from the left. That's my vantage point. Whatever my problems are with them, there was no choice here, right? And against this version of the Republican Party, and the Republican Party has been bad as long as I can remember, but against this version of it, there is truly no choice. So my older daughter, Coraline, stayed up and watched the returns with me. And it was genuinely heartbreaking watching her sit there and doodle and draw. And she was drawing little I voted stickers and flowers and people smiling and hearts. And then when we started to realize that the things were going a little bit sideways, I took her to bed. We read a story for a long time. I laid in bed with her, and then just, my younger daughter had already gone to bed. And I really cherished that moment in that tough time because although I exist with relative privilege, it was a really scary moment of realizing just how close to the edge things are and can be. And it was a reminder to me that we need to be close to the people that we care for a lot right now. So you know this, everybody here knows this, but please you know, please give folks that you love and that you cherish, you know, whatever you can, and just be present as long as possible. This morning, when I had to tell them, it was hard. I guess at my daughter's school, a bunch of the other third grade girls, they have, you know, in California, we have universal breakfast and lunch for students. There's no fee associated with it. There's no nothing. It's just a thing, a common good thing that we have here in California and that we're grateful for. It's something that Tim Walz actually provided for the kids in his state. I think about that picture of the kids hugging him and how nice it would be to have that sort of thing in and around the White House. But the kids, I guess a bunch of the third grade kids were sitting around at breakfast and they were all crying this morning. When I broke the news to Coraline, she was teary-eyed and wanted to know immediately what we could do. And it was hard because as a parent, you want to have answers and you want to have things and you don't want to show that you're scared and you don't know what's going on. But sometimes that's all there is to do, right? So I just tried to focus on the fact that we have each other, we have our friends, we have our community, and we need to be watching out for the folks who are, I guess, less fortunate or in, I didn't put it this way, but in crosshairs, right? People who might otherwise be in more immediate, graver danger, and that we need to really, you know, work to protect our communities. And it's weird because we live in the Bay Area, and where we live in the Bay Area, there's like no Trump flags, there's no Trump nothing. But I was talking with somebody, and she lives in Orange County, and she was saying, yeah, it's like half the neighborhood. And I just can't imagine. Anyway, this is not gonna just be me complaining about all this. I mean, it might be. Okay, I'm not gonna make any promises, folks. It might be, but I don't really know what to do. The Bay Area is lovely. You know, okay, Beatrice, the Bay Area has major flaws, and the Bay Area, without getting too deep into it, the Bay Area is has done its part to enable the problems that we see right now. There's extreme inequality, and there's a covering up of the inequality under the guise of good intentions, right? The Bay Area is very much the dad from Get Out in a lot of ways. You know, I'd vote for Obama a third time kind of thing. There's a sort of well-intentioned liberalism that doesn't necessarily take the next step. Now, that said, music's a little bit loud. Okay, thank you. Let me turn it down. I'll just turn it down. The music is very good. The vibe from the music is good. Yeah, I mean, and yeah, I mean, like Ukraine, I mean, there's all sorts of different things. So don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here saying that the Democrats are amazing. No, and don't be sorry, Psychoc. There's, you know, I'm not here to say anybody is even necessarily really good. And certainly, especially internationally, I think we've seen with, you know, a number of things, and then with Gaza as well, the genocide happening in Gaza. Clearly, you know, a vote for Harris wouldn't have taken us to the promised land or anything like that. But anyway, it is a more than that. What it shows me is beyond even the scary policies that a lot of these people are espousing, the stuff in Project 2025, you know, criminalization of just being different than, you know, Stephen Miller wants you to be, I guess, is that this election felt like a repudiation of kindness and of being nice. And I just, you see these people get raised to these levels of prominence, and they just fucking suck shit. They just suck shit. You get Donald Trumps, you get Andrew Tate, you get all these guys, and they're just, oh, you know, they get raised up, and people listen to them, and I don't know how to combat it. So it's just a weird time. And okay, I promise I'm not just going to do this the whole time. I'm not here to monologue at you. Y'all are feeling rough and weird in your own ways, I'm sure, right now. The thing that I do want to get across is just that selfishly, I appreciate you. I am so grateful that you're here. Yes, the top talents of the Democrats. In fact, actually, I believe 4-Bit Friday points out Democrats are great at losing battles stacked in their favor. It's one of their top talents. I think that when you join a Democratic consulting firm, you have to show three previous campaigns that you've snatched from the jaws of victory. Basically, you have to show how would you Clinton this up, and uh, by golly, they seem to have continued to do this. Now, there's a lot of other things too, right? Like there's the media landscape. There's the fact that, and in my opinion, the New York Times, the Post, to a lesser degree until the end, the news, the cable news media, the legacy media, as it were, was straight up in the tank for Trump this time. You spend months talking about how old and decrepit Biden is, which, correct, yes, correct. It's a news story, and it's true. This is why he was not my choice in 2020. But they spend all this time on it, and when they would, I think the clearest example of this is when they would transcribe his speeches or his conversations with people, they would include the ums, the uhs, the mistakes, the excuse me's, the the things, right? Because he couldn't put a sentence together, and okay, if you're going to do that, that's fine. Then they go and they transcribe something that Trump talks about, and it's just this like perfectly together, cleaned up thing. It was in the tank, and I don't know how any campaign can truly fight back against an entire media apparatus, entirely in the tank for one candidate. Um, at the same time, the alternative media, I guess we'll call it, YouTube with the algorithm and these things are um, uh, finding alienated groups of people, showing them their grievances and saying, "We'll fix it for you. We'll take it for you," and running them as hard right as possible. It is remarkable, the idea that young people, and Bernie Sanders called this out in 2016 and 2020, was that if you don't have a true proper plan for what to do with disaffected young people and disaffected groups, voting blocks, you are going to lose them to the bad faith actors of right wing faux populism. And it's going to happen. And the lesson that the Democrats seem to have taken, and I'm not going to blame this entire thing on just the Democrats. I think that in this instance, people who voted for Donald Trump are the ones primarily to blame. I think that if someone votes for Donald Trump in this election after everything that happened, you are a dumpy person. You're not someone I think is great. That said, there were warnings, there were opportunities, and there were people who understood this. And again, I'm not saying, yes, Bernie would have won in 2016. Let's be clear. However, I don't think that that's the only thing here, but I do think he called out. He went on Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan supported him, at least in the primary, because Joe Rogan is impressionable, as is his audience. But if you go to them and speak to them on their own terms before they're lost, you have an open audience. You have an audience that can listen. So Bernie went on Joe Rogan and got a ton of pushback about it. How can you go on this guy's show? He's a misogynist. He's terrible. Yeah, absolutely. Joe Rogan sucks. There's no question. However, you have the ability to reach an audience of people who are receptive to your message, and young people were very, very receptive to Bernie Sanders. They then they went with Clinton, then they went with Biden, and Harris. I think actually did a substantially better job than I thought, but you can't undo decades of harmful neoliberal policy in 107 days of an election, right? I mean, this is the same reason that the union vote didn't break their way, right? Democrats are definitely better for union workers now than Republicans, but you have 40 years of Democrats not standing up for union people, allowing them to slip into uh, grievance politics, the Southern strategy that Nixon spearheaded, right? Taking social issues as wedges. And that by the time that the Democrats are actually doing some stuff for the unions, which to Joe Biden's credit, I think he has been a significantly better president on unions than, I mean, anybody in my lifetime. And yet, they're not rewarded for it. The lesson needs to be, if there is still another election after this, if there is still a Democratic Party, we need to see that they will stick with it, because this is going to take a long time to unfuck, and I'm not sure I'm super hopeful. Anyway, yes, I promised. um, I did not intend to just keep on going. Let's read the manual for NARC. Um, NARC manual NES, and let's just sort of do that. I have a game controller set up, and I was thinking about just like playing a game, but I didn't actually go ahead and set anything up to do it. But let's go ahead and do NARC. I don't know. Let's see. This may be a bad choice, but yes, ACAB does include NARC. You know what? I don't want to do NARC, actually. I thought about it and I was like, that sounds like fun, but I don't want to do NARC. I want to do something nicer. And you know what? You know what I wonder? I don't know if it's any good, but let's look at the manual for Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers on the NES instead. Rescue. I'm going to look it up. I have to type it. I didn't do this. Rescue Rangers NES manual PDF. I was actually kind of excited about NARC for a second. I've read it before on the stream, and it's a silly one. It's a lot of fun. But I was like, this might make me feel bad. Okay. So I don't have music for it. We're going to skip into the reading. And when I get in here, you're not going to see anything yet, because yet again, I didn't do anything. Can you see Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers? It's a little small, and I will zoom in for a second, because boy, oh boy, do I love this art. So in times of fear, in times of worry, in times of panic and distrust, oftentimes we fall into a trap. And, the trap is looking back towards better times. And I think that's a big problem with what's happening in the country right now. But today, let's use it for our own advantage and enjoy this beautiful artwork. As a kid, Rescue Rangers was my favorite show by far. Initially, it was, you go through Sesame Street. That's the one. Sesame Street, and then like Ninja Turtles, obviously, was a big one for me. But really, Rescue Rangers was like big for me. So when the game came out, we didn't buy it at first, but I rented it probably a dozen times and beat it a dozen times. And yes, it was amazing. And so I love this picture, because in the game, you can throw things at these dogs, and maybe one or two hits. If you have a block, one hit will kill the big dogs. Two hits will kill the big dogs, I think. If you have the apple, one hit does. But I love the idea of how the fact that this image here shows you just how futile their efforts are here. He's throwing a tomato at this dog. What's it going to do? Rust over the span of like a month? This is terrible. This is not going to work. They're in trouble, and they're in grave danger. Relatable. Thank you, Flashback64, for coming. I appreciate it. It was good to see you. Sorry for my speech, I guess, at the beginning. So yes, Capcom USA. We're going to find out a little bit. Special thanks to Calvin for contributing this manual. This website here, actually, I'll just share it for y'all, is finding manuals is an interesting thing online because most of them exist, but they all exist in slightly different places. Vim's Lair, the one I'm in right now, is actually a pretty good one for finding manuals, I do find that the quality is a little bit low. So hopefully you can see it okay. It's a little pixely on my screen, but hopefully it's okay for you. We get an ad for Adventures of the Magic Kingdom, which here's a little piece of insight into my psyche. This game scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. I don't know what it was, but there was the Haunted Mansion level, and I was, I guess, a sensitive child. I didn't like blood. I didn't like the concept of death. So you can imagine how well things are going for me today. And I found this game quite frightening for some reason. I don't know why. Because when you read the description for it in this ad, it sounds pretty harmless. Help Mickey Mouse find the 6 silver keys to the Enchanted Castle. They can be found in the wildest rides in the Magic Kingdom. Take off on Space Monaton. Capcom, Disney, you guys are not on it. Space Mountain, explore the Haunted Mansion, and challenge the pirates of the Caribbean in this action-packed adventure from Disney. Dizzy and Lost, good to see you. We're doing self-care. We get a special message from Capcom, and I don't know about you, but I personally could absolutely use a special message from Capcom on November the 6th, 2024. Thank you for selecting Disney's Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, one of our exclusive family of computer and home video games. We at Capcom are proud to bring you this exciting action... I've got a cough too. The day couldn't get any better. Action-packed adventure game for your Nintendo Entertainment System. Rescue Rangers, created by Capcom, a premier worldwide arcade game designer, features colorful, state-of-the-art, high-resolution graphics. We hope you enjoy this new addition to your video game library. Very truly yours, Joe Morisi, Vice President, Capcom USA. If anybody has an inside line to Mr. Morisi, please let him know about the typo over here. We can keep it secret from Disney. They don't have to know. I can't imagine they'd be too thrilled about that. We've gotten through the special message from Capcom, which is so nice. And now we're going to find out about a lot of things. Ooh, I'm excited about this. The Craze Club offer. What do you think the Craze Club offer is going to be? Some safety precautions about your game pack. I think that's really important. Get some good art. I like this one a lot. 1990, the Walt Disney Company. So I was 7. A little bit younger than my daughter is now, so I would have been in 2nd grade for this one probably. Yeah, so there you go. It's weird to think of a time that I can remember when I was younger than my firstborn, who was born in 2016. So this game predates my daughter by 26 years, which is pretty insane if you think about it. And let's not think about it, actually. Let's just see. Here we have Chip bullying Dale, and Dale running headfirst into the wall. I have to believe that Chip and Dale both voted for Harris and Walls. I'm a little worried that Dale went through a brief Kennedy phase, but that's just because he doesn't trust medicine. So that's what I'm a little bit worried about. There you go. It predates 4-Bit Friday by 0 years. So you are 1990. Happy 1990. In my opinion, that was a great year, as far as I can recall. But I did like it a lot. And the 90s, growing up in the 90s was pretty good. We had our issues, but I'll tell you what, the issues were maybe not quite as prevalent. I don't know. Maybe for me they weren't. The controls for Rescue Rangers are quite simple, but true mastery takes both practice and skill. Pushing left or right on the controller moves the character right or left. Yeah, this works even when he's jumping or falling. Remember this. It is a very important feature. You're reading this and they're just sort of telling you how it is. If you press down on the control pad while you are holding a box, you can hide in the box until an enemy touches it. If this happens, you will defeat that enemy and lose the box you were holding. Note, this will not work against all enemies, specifically those gosh dang dogs at the beginning on the manual. You can jump down, you can press select to show which players have been selected, the amount of flowers and stars. This game has a really great sound effect when you collect a flower. It's maybe the most jarring noise in any video game I've ever heard. It's like, bang! It's brutal, but it's great. Maybe if we have time, I'll play this. I don't know. I have Disney Afternoon Collection on my computer. You get flowers. Collect as many of these as you can. For every 50 flowers, it's a 1-up. Stars, every 10 stars, you get a 1-up. And if you touch a 1-up star, you get a 1-up. That's pretty cool. Here they are fighting over Gadget. Sorry, Gadget. You got acorns, crates, steel boxes, and black balls. They might not have wanted to call them bombs, but that's okay. There you are, black balls. The Rescue Ranger's story. And we get some good fat cat in here. He's a good bad guy. Rescue Rangers understood that the corrupt billionaire is in fact the bad guy. This is something that society could learn from. We knew it in 1990. And might just need a reminder. The Rescue Rangers have been assembled once again to help a friend in need. Kindness. Their neighbor Mandy has lost her kitten, and she doesn't know where to begin looking. There have been some unusual sightings in town of mechanical bulldogs and robotic rats. That would be weird. Can the Rescue Rangers' enemy, Fat Cat, be up to his old tricks again? I think this is that he might be involved. I don't know. You got your friends. You got Gadget, who appears to be sneezing in this picture. Seasonal allergies, I get it. And there's that whole level in the trees, and that's probably there's pollen everywhere. She scouts ahead and leaves inventions and clues to help the Rescue Rangers. You have Monterey Jack, Monty, helps Chip and Dale find secret doors and pathways. And then you've got Zipper. When Zipper flies ahead, no harm will come to the Rescue Rangers. That's right. He's your invincibility boy. And then we've got our enemies. You've got mechanical bulldogs and robotic rats. Don't get too close to these walking tin cans. You got Buzzer. Beware of the stinger on this bad bee. Buzz Bomb. Buzzer's quick-tempered cousin. Have we met? Oh, the Buzzer. Yeah, he's right there. See? This meeting is going to go great today. The one that I've got coming up, because I am at peak awareness right now. We got Popper Mouse. Watch out for this part. Watch out for his party favors. And Racket Roo. This kangaroo launches tennis balls. Racket Roo, my most hated enemy in the game. Very scary stuff. You got Ditz. These crazy looking characters can turn into Chip or Dale. I remember that was very cool looking to me in the game. I'm trying to think. Was there a game prior to this where an enemy turned into you and took your sprite? That's like probably a pretty cool, a pretty nifty trick. And, you know, Capcom at this time with these Disney games on the NES was doing remarkable stuff, you know, with graphics and gameplay and music. Maybe not the flower sounds, but everything else. And I thought that was a pretty neat thing. Oh, Double Dragon Boss sort of does. Yeah. I think that's right. Hawk Bomber. This bird of prey drops explosive charges. Then we got the Rhino Runner. Look out for this charging brute. Wart. This nasty lizard throws his hat your way. And then you got Fat Cat, the big boss man in town. He's kind of doing a little dance right there. Yes, anyway, Fat Cat, bad guy. Should be excised from polite society along with his collaborators. Wart, Rhino Runner. We don't expect much politically out of Rhino Runner, you know, the professional football player. Not too surprising, toxic masculinity. But I expected better out of Ditz. I'm not going to lie. But you know, had a chance to reach him, I guess, and we just didn't take it. Oh, okay. Space Astro Cat points out that it's pretty common to have evil versions of the main character because you could just reuse a modified sprite. I guess that's true. This is why I'm not a technical person. This is why I don't actually know how to necessarily stream video from my computer because it turns out computer is hard. The Capcom official Craze Club. How do we feel about this logo? I kind of would like it on a shirt over here. That's what I want. Join the official Capcom Craze Club. Don't delay. If you're wild about our games, become a member of the Capcom Craze Club today. Send your money order or check for $3.95 with this coupon too. Capcom USA Incorporated, 3303 Scott Boulevard in Santa Clara, California. And you can get DuckTales, Mega Man, Rescue Rangers, or Codename Viper. I don't know who picked the Codename Viper one, but can you imagine if you had a good copy of the Mega Man poster? That thing would probably be worth, like, I don't know, video game prices, $17,000 today. So pretty good. So you can put your name, your phone number, your address, age of player, 41, and welcome to the club. And then you got your 90-day limited warranty and your premier worldwide arcade game designer, Capcom USA. And there we go. And that's the manual for Chippendale's Rescue Rangers. Um, while we're here, maybe I'll do DuckTales. Would that be okay with everybody? I'll just do DuckTales. And again, please, this session is just self-care. So please, if anyone has to hop or go away, I fully get it. I don't want anyone feeling like they gotta hang out. It's fun to live in a world of self-doubt today. I don't want DuckTales too. Get out of here. No way. I don't love it. Yeah, good soundtrack. Chippendales, Duck and Dale. uh, um, sorry, that was funny. That made me laugh. Let's look at it. Who cares? Let's look at it, and I will get into it. Give me a second here. Okay, DuckTales. So we got good music in here. If this were an episode where I planned it out a little bit more or even at all, I would have music for it. But in the spirit of um, societal rot, I have allowed myself to just sort of go with the flow, I guess. I like this one in part because we get to meet Captain Commando. Um, we get DuckTales right here. Yeah, that's right. What were the lyrics to DuckTales, the theme song? Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, something, aeroplanes, it's a duck blur. On the mystery or rewrite history, DuckTales. There was a documentary, Lasers. That's right. There was a documentary, like a YouTube video documentary. Um, uh, some non-alt right content on YouTube, believe it or not. There was a video I believe I saw a while back that was like talking about the person who did the music for all these shows, all the Disney afternoon shows. And man, were those songs good. Holy smokes. And he did some other like really well-known ones. Maybe let me DuckTales theme song uh writer. Mark Mueller. Oh, Mueller, that's a name. Okay. Let's read a little bit about Mark Mueller. This is video game manual story time. Oh, look, he's in the Bay Area. That's I think that's Angel Island behind him, and that's Mount Tam. There we go. He's on a ferry. This is interesting. He appears to be on a ferry coming from Angel Island, potentially to what? San Francisco? Maybe you used to be able to do that. You can't do that anymore. And there's Mount Tam, and look at that nice fog in the background. I recognize this anywhere I go. There's something about the colors in the Bay Area sky on a nice day. It's probably, I don't know, this picture, I'm going to guess it's probably about 63 degrees out there. You can tell that fog is pretty dense, so that's good. Anyway, I'm sorry about this. He has three Billboard Top 100 Top 10 singles and one number one, um, Crush by Jennifer Page. That's What Love Is For by Amy Grant. And Nothing at All by Heart. Rescue Rangers, DuckTales, the DuckTales reboot. He did the movie. Chart history. I don't care about chart history. I just want to know gold and platinum records, TV and film. Uh, Shangri-La Plaza. I thought he did some more here. I could be wrong. Well, I don't know. 1 hour photo. That's a fun one. Pokemon the first movie, Money Talks, National Lampoon's Vegas Vacation, Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, Simply Irresistible. Anyway, I thought he did more than that. Anyway, sorry, Mark Mueller. But if you're in the Bay Area, come on, let's talk about your music on Instruction Derby. We can make that happen. In the meantime, here's DuckTales. We get to talk to Captain Commando. Let's zoom in. Thank you. A special message. So we no longer get a signed autograph from the CEO of Capcom USA. By now, we've moved over to Captain Commando, who doesn't yet look quite as cool as he does in the, um, I think, quite good belt scrolling action game, Captain Commando. Special message from, I guess, Capcom. It just says special message from, and I think we're supposed to look up and over here. So, special message from, thank you for selecting exciting and fun filled Ducktales, one of our exclusive family of computer, home, and video games from Capcom's Captain Commando Challenge series. They're going for some branding. Ducktales, created by Capcom, they're doing this a few times, and I wonder if Disney had to have a look, right? Like, it's like, did Capcom, did you create Ducktales? As far as I'm concerned, it was a joint effort. Can't have one without the other. Premier worldwide arcade game designer features colorful state-of-the-art high-resolution graphics licensed by Nintendo for play on the Nintendo Entertainment System. And of course, you get the Nintendo seal of quality, which means that it's good and educational and good for you. And then I like that you get this sort of off-brand, I think. Yes, kind of off-brand logo. I think it's cool. So we get getting started. Getting started. This is what I'm talking because I'm trying to cough. Put the DuckTales cartridge in there, the game pack, excuse me. You can start the game. The land select screen will appear. The screen shows Uncle Scrooge at the helm of his control console in Duckburg. Here you can choose in which of the 5 treasure areas to begin your adventure. Uncle Scrooge, again a character with bad politics, use the control pad to move the glowing ball to the land of your choice and press the A button to start your quest. Disney and Capcom seem to have understood who the bad guys were in Rescue Rangers and then normalized them here in DuckTales by giving us Scrooge McDuck. Controlling Uncle Scrooge. If only we could. The controls for Uncle Scrooge are simple, but true mastery will take both practice and skill. That's a similar thing. Let's see how they describe this. Oh, here we go. This works. This is the exact same stuff. Pushing right and left on the controller moves Uncle Scrooge right and left. This works even when he's jumping or falling. Remember this. Don't you forget about it. Up and down are used for climbing up and down ropes. Let's see how they explain the pogo jump. The A button is used for jumping. There are 2 types of jumps that Uncle Scrooge can do. The first is a regular jump. The longer you hold down the A button, the higher he can jump. If Uncle Scrooge is holding still on a vine or chain when you try to jump, he will fall. Pushing up while he is falling will stop the fall. The second type of jump that Uncle Scrooge can do is the pogo jump. This is a way he can travel over dangerous ground and repel certain enemies. This move can be tricky. To pogo jump, press the control pad down. Press the A button, the jump button, and while Uncle Scrooge is in midair, press the B button. You must press the B button before he lands, or the pogo jump will not work. Uncle Scrooge will continue to pogo as long as you hold down the B button. You can use the control pad to direct Uncle Scrooge while he is pogo jumping. It is sometimes possible to make him swing his cane while he's jumping. So yeah, you got that? You get it? No problem. Just go ahead and do that, and you'll be good. Every 5 and 6-year-old can understand that. You get the names of controller parts and operating instructions. Yeah, pogo jumping was the best innovation on NES, and that has a good sound too. The real boingy sound. Bum, 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 bum. I can't disconnect the sound from the sound of his pogo from the music in the game for whatever reason, specifically the Amazon level. We all love Moon. We all love Moon theme, but I think Amazon level is right up there. Yeah, pogo jumping, best innovation. Sorry, Mario Raccoon Suit or whatever. I will say this: Mario 3, not as good as DuckTales. That's where I stand. That's the stand I'm taking the day after the election. That's what matters to me. That's what matters to society. That's what the Democrats could have done differently. They could have taken a stronger stand that DuckTales is a better platformer than Mario 3. I don't even know if I actually believe that. But I'm just saying what people want to hear. And I think that that's important too, is like learning what do the people want. Uncle Scrooge is a world-class millionaire. And lover of adventure. His goal this I try not to swear on the stream, because I don't want to, and it's nice to practice not swearing, right? It's nice to be like, okay, I'm good at this, and I never have to worry about it. But my God, my God, my God, am I in a bad mood? His goal this time is to obtain the 5 lost treasures that were scattered throughout the world. Lost by whom, Uncle Scrooge? Who are you rescuing these treasures from? Are these treasures being taken from the people who owned them? Are you just stealing them? He is off on his adventure with the help of Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Webby. They will travel with him through the jungles of the Amazon, the snow-topped peak of the Himalayas, the haunted house in Transylvania, the subterranean mines of Africa, and to the surface of the moon. How many of the lost treasures will you be able to find? Probably too many of them. Yes, that's right. He's liberating. He's liberating these treasures. And I think that that's so good of him and so important. The the just given the way that we have continued to mine the earth for resources and do untold damage, the mine level is a little bit troubling. Here again, he's a world-class millionaire. And that's not a good thing. So let's see here. Excuse me. Oh, the cockpit instruments panel. During each adventure, an instruments panel appears above the gameplay area. This will show the current status of Uncle Scrooge's progress in each land. You get to know about some stuff that's in each one of them. That's cool. How much have you plundered? The game starts at the control room when you come in contact with Launchpad, who is standing within the various lands. He's a weird guy. He will ask you if you wish to return to the control room or not. If you choose yes, you will return to the control room temporarily. Once there, you can put the money you collected into the safe. Total money score. Launchpad can only be used once in each land. Total money score sounds like it's like one of those like by the numbers Netflix TV shows about a heist. There's like that show Money Heist, which I guess is supposed to be pretty good, but like Money Heist isn't a real name for a show. Total money score is better as far as I'm concerned. You know what? Home Team Game Dev is pointing out that as a world-class millionaire, Uncle Scrooge really is closer to us than he is to Jeff Bezos, so we can talk him into joining the rebellion. I just think we need to show him the difference between a million and a billion. Like, he seems like he would really understand and appreciate that. Probably doesn't understand in the abstract how much more a billion is than a million. So if we just show him that with like a pile of beans or something like that, maybe he'll understand, and maybe he'll come to the right side. The ocean is a billion coins. That's right, exactly. And he only has a million in his vault pool. So yeah, he just has a pool. Bezos has an ocean. Items and bonuses. These are some of the various items that will assist Uncle Scrooge in his search for the 5 treasures. You got diamonds, you got red diamonds, you got magic coins. $50,000. The red diamond, $50,000 in 1991 money. That's a lot. Magic coin makes him invulnerable. Ice cream restores 1 hit point. Cake gives him all of his health back. Scrooge doll gives him another life. It's nice he's into plushies of himself. Skeleton key. This is the key that will allow you to enter the African mines. The UFO key will be needed to enter the UFO. And the remote controller, once you take this, you can call for Gizmo Duck on the moon. And then I think that's important. I think that's pretty cool. These look great. I think I just want to call these out. These look fantastic. This diamond kind of looks like a coffin. I don't know if it was repurposed. It was supposed to be something in the haunted house level, but who knows? There we go. You got your magic coin, your cake, your Scrooge doll, which is I would say giving them the benefit of the doubt that it's a Scrooge doll, but I'll take it. According to some research people with too much time on their hands, says Space Astrocat, Scrooge McDuck is the 4th richest fictional character in the world. I could see that. Well, he also probably, so he was a millionaire back in the 90s, but given the amount of wealth that got trickled up to folks during the pandemic, you can bet he's far wealthier now. You got Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Webby, who give help. You got Bubba Duck, who gives special treasure to Uncle Scrooge. Mrs. Beakley makes some wonderful treats for Uncle Scrooge. Gizmo Duck can assist him. Launchpad, this famous pilot will fly Uncle Scrooge out of each land and back to the control room in Duckburg. He will also give Uncle Scrooge a convenient ride from time to time. Like, he has his limits. Check out the cool art. Here's a thing I remember is DuckTales, when they introduced Gizmo Duck, they did a prime time special. One of those things where they called it a movie, but it was like 2 episodes with a slightly higher budget grafted together. And they did a prime time episode. And I have a memory that I'll share here, which was that it was pretty late, prime time. My bedtime was like 7:30 at the time. And my parents said that I couldn't watch it right then and there. I had to take a bath, but that they would tape it for me. So I took a bath and I was gonna go to bed, and then they said, "Here you go. We taped it. You can watch it now." And it was a very exciting moment. I got to see Gizmo Duck, and I thought that was quite cool. So thank you, Mom and Dad, for humoring my childhood loves. Hints in Treasureland: the Amazon. Uncle Scrooge must search through the ruins of the Incan Empire. There are many traps here, and caution is necessary. The treasure in this land is the scepter of the Incan king. Again, I don't think you should be taking that. Transylvania. Uncle Scrooge has to contend with the monsters of a very haunted house. It's very haunted. Listen to Huey's message to find the boss's room. The mirrors in this spooky abode can transport you to other parts of the house. The treasure in this land is the coin of the lost realm. I think it's fine to take it from Transylvania. It's a house of monsters and ghosts. Seems fine to me. The African mines. Uncle Scrooge must obtain the skeleton key from a different land to venture into the underground mines. Look for treasures here in the wildest of hiding places. It's like, I don't know what that means. The treasure in this land is the giant diamond of the inner earth. Again, don't think that's yours to take. Don't think we should be taking that to begin with. The Himalayas. Uncle Scrooge has to be very careful where he steps around here. If he hops in the snow, he can get stuck, and the ice is very slippery. The treasure in this land is the crown of Genghis Khan. You get some hints in the moon. Uncle Scrooge must find the remote control for Gizmo Duck here. The treasure in this land is the green cheese of longevity. The green cheese of longevity. I think that's pretty cool. The last battle is once all 5 of the lost treasures have been obtained by Uncle Scrooge, he must contend with the strongest boss of all, capitalism. General hints for all lands, or just like self-doubt maybe. Feeling defeated. The strongest boss of all, either feeling defeated or a bad night of sleep. Or like twisting your ankle going down some stairs when you're in your 40s. That might be the strongest boss of all, really. General hints, having like stomach problems from gluten is another one. General hints for all lands. When in doubt, jump about. Many of the various treasures have been scattered in each land in the most incredible of hiding places. You must pogo jump across spike logs. You can also pogo jump on top of characters that are in midair. If you got any cheats and codes, you can enter them over here. The instruction manual gets a credit. This is exciting. The instruction manual was written by someone by the name of Kevin Sullivan. If anybody's still watching and you know somebody by the name of Kevin Sullivan, you may have hit the DuckTales manual jackpot. Please do reach out and see if they in fact are familiar with them. You can call them between 8 to 5 for help. At 408, it's a South Bay phone number, 727-0400. And there you go, some more memos. Compliance. I think that's good. The equipment generates and also uses radio frequency, so don't get it close to the chip that got implanted when you got your COVID vaccine. Kidding. I'm kidding. Just a little RFK style humor. Look for these popular arcade-proven Capcom game packs. It looks like we've got 1942 Ghosts and Goblins, something, and then something else. They're for play on the Nintendo Entertainment System. And that's it. And that's the manuals. Too soon. It's all too soon. It's all too soon. I'm going to be honest. I do feel a little bit brighter. I do feel like focusing on some other stuff is probably beneficial, and I want to thank you to anybody who's here or showed up even for a little bit for doing so. It does mean a lot to me. and especially today. I know you're not doing it like a favor, but like it is nice to hang out. And these are weird, trying times. So please be good to yourselves. I don't need to tell you this, you know this, but please be good to yourselves. Um, and enjoy the time with people that you love and enjoy their company, friends, family, neighbors, whatever. And go play some dang video games. Tell you what, there's a lot of great art being made right now. And um, not one thing is going to resolve all this, but this is there's a lot of good and a lot of people who really care, and they're all around. So um, we're together. Yep, the community still exists, and that we're in this together. We are in this together, and just be strong and take care of yourselves and be patient with yourselves. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Have a good one. Eat some food too. I forgot to eat. Eat some food and drink some water. Stay hydrated. That's some good evergreen advice. Alrighty. Bye, folks. Appreciate it.